You gotta watch this story. This is real. This happens. I have seen this. This is the power of a chat. Remember that video I made about that woman that was talking about her first real chat that she had in her life and she could not forget him and don't go for second best because you're not gonna be happy? This is a pure example of that. Like the power of a chat. I will never have that power. I don't care if I'm a millionaire or billionaire. I don't care if I have magical powers. This is power like the power of Thor. You're not gonna have this power. Doesn't matter how rich I am, how well off, how good of a person, how much I treat a woman well. You shouldn't. But I'm just saying, no matter how much you treat her well, no matter how good you are to her, how you take care of her family, even she has kids, how well of a father, this story gives you an insight of the power of a chat, and this is why a lot of women they stay with men that are horrible because there's something about that particular man that she cannot get over. Check this out.
In prison. This guy got 10 years. He'd been dating this girl. He called her the Puerto Rican princess. Prior to prison, she had a good friend, a best friend. He said, I started sleeping with her best friend. He said, and one day she comes home. They lived together. He'd completely moved his stuff out of the apartment and moved in with the other girl. I mean, devastated her so bad that she moved, sold everything, and moved out of the state. He said, because everybody that we knew each other. And she can't go to her best friend. Her best friend's living with me. Because I can't even justify why I did it. So she's gone. 5 years later, I get this case. And I said, how long did the new girl stick with you? He said, 3 months. Now he's been locked up 3 years. One day, he's like, I got a letter from the Puerto Rican princess. Somebody told her what happened. He's in jail. She contacts the prison. She gets a visitation form. It's approved. She shows up like 2 days later. She's like 3 states over. She drives all the way there, stays there the night, comes, sees him, everything. So she sees him and she's in jail crying. I love you. I've always been in love with you. I don't care what you did. How much more time do you have? And he's like, I mean, I've got 5 more years. It's not going to work. Go have fun. It's fine. He's like, write me and come visit me if you want. And she's like, no, I can get you out of prison. I can get you out of here. And he goes, no, you can't. I'm in prison. And she said, no, I can get you out. She said, I have a friend. He said there's something called Rule 35. He said that if I know any dealers, I can get you out because all I have to do is wear a wire and set them up. And then if they bust them, and he told her, he said, no, he goes, don't do that. You could get in trouble. So he's
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this is the power of being a chat. I never had this power. And most men that are regular guys will never have this power. You go to jail for anything, even if it was falsified by a cop, these women that you marry would just leave you because usually what happens is they got somebody on the side, and now that you're not there anymore, they're gone. And then you're like, what happened? I was married with this woman for 5 to 10 years. I got locked up by false pretense or whatever. Maybe the cop wanted to catch somebody drunk and you failed the sobriety test that they gave you, and you forget about it. Never take the sobriety test. Go to get get handcuffed. Go to where they give you the exam, the blood test, and the breathalyzer, so you could clear your name. I mean, taking the sobriety test, it's just proof that you failed because they'll say, well, he wasn't cohesive enough to drive and I arrested him. I don't know. Maybe the drugs came out of his system. Just an advice if you ever get stopped by a cop and he wants to give you a sobriety test, for whatever reason, he has an itch up his butt and he just wants to find somebody. Maybe there was a cat and you swerved away from the cat. He didn't see the cat. Maybe he did, and now he has an excuse to stop you. Okay, I digress. Let's go back to the story. This guy left his girlfriend for her best friend. I guess she was hotter, funner, etc., whatever the reason. This guy leaves her for her best friend, and she was devastated. She leaves, she goes somewhere else, she goes to a different state. Guarantee you, I could guarantee you that she probably was dating some chump. And when she found out that he was locked up and the girl, her girlfriend, best friend left him, she just like, I want him back. That's my Chad. I want my Chad back. There's something about the power of being a Chad that is unexplainable. And he left her, didn't give a shit about her, and watch what she does. This is amazing. I don't know what to say.
He said, I told her no, no, no. So she comes back about 3 months later. I said, what happened? He goes, she said she came to tell me she made a buy. He said, a few of them. I was like, wow, that's serious, bro. And he's like, it is serious. A month or so later, she comes again, same thing. She's like, I've made some more stuff. The DEA said it's a solid case. They're probably going to do something. And it was a year later. I walk into his cell, and his cellie was there. He looks at him and he goes, tell him. Just tell him. And he goes, looks at him there like, he's like, and he goes, Cox, I swear to God, you can't say nothing. And I was like, what? And he goes, he's going home. No. What happened, bro? He's like, shut the door. Oh, yeah. He said 6 months ago, they busted all of them guys. He said it's like 20 people. She came that day and said, look, they're putting in for your reduction. She's been talking to the U.S. attorney. It's going to be immediate release. But maybe a week later, they just one day called him on the pack out. Next day, he packs his stuff out and walks right out that door in prison. This guy.
Amazing story. This woman, she could have been killed. She could have been found out, kidnapped, done crazy stuff could have happened to her, and she practically risked her life for this Chad. This is probably not the guy, but who knows? Probably looks similar. Some 6'3" guy. I guarantee you he was an attractive guy. Guarantee you he treated her like shit. Guarantee you other girls want him. I mean, he stole her best friend. Her best friend. It takes a lot to steal a girl's best friend. You gotta be something. So I think he was like a Giga Chad of some type, and you know the best friend wanted him until he got locked up. He had money, he had looks, exciting life of a thug. There's always a thug. Remember, whenever there's a issue when a woman leaves a man, there's always a thug somewhere. It's like a gremlin or something. There's always a thug somewhere when it comes to these type of things. So the moral of the story, if you're not that guy, be careful with the women in your life, because you may be with one, you may marry one, you may live with one, you may even be the stepfather of one of these women, taking care of her kids and taking care of her, and she will leave and drop everything behind to be with this Chad, this guy that treated her like shit. She would just drop everything and go and say, and she would sacrifice the safe relationship with this guy when he finds out that she's doing all this for another man that's locked up, that treated her like crap. And if he's not a super simp, he will let go of that relationship. Be careful. Be careful of what type of woman you put in your life, because if she has that man in her life that she cannot get over, she will sacrifice even her kids, everything to be with that Chad.